Some of the other stories that we are following right now, documents unsealed Wednesday in FTX's U.S. bankruptcy proceeding revealed that just before the company's implosion, one of FTX's insiders turned on Sam Bankman-Fried. Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan is here now. What are we learning through some of these documents, Alexis?
Yes, so this all came in a hearing yesterday in the U.S. filing bankruptcy court, and it has to do with FTX Digital Markets, right, which is not part of the U.S. bankruptcy. It's not one of those 100+ entities that's involved here. However, what's interesting about these documents and is causing quite a bit of contention between the Bahamas and the U.S., Bahamas regulators and U.S. new management for FTX is this. So there was a letter that was unsealed in the Delaware bankruptcy court that came from the executive director of the Bahamas Securities Regulation Authority. And what this executive director said to the law enforcement in the Bahamas, and this comes on November 9th. So timeline is right before the U.S. bankruptcy filing. What she ends up telling law enforcement is this. She says the commission understood Salome, and this is the co-CEO of FTX Digital Markets, Ryan Salome. He supposedly told these regulators in the Bahamas about an unsanctioned transfer of money. And he says this is, and let me step back a minute. This is the executive director writing to law enforcement. She says, co-CEO Ryan Salome, the commission understood him as advising the transfer of client assets in a manner contrary to the normal corporate governance and operations of FTX Digital. She says, put simply, that such transfers were not allowed and therefore may constitute misappropriation, theft, fraud, or some other crime. So what we're seeing here is really the first time that an insider at the company, this Ryan Salome, that he is going ahead and saying that there was a transfer of funds from FTX Digital to Alameda, and sorry, I left that part out. It's to Alameda, all of these transfers that have been of such concern with the FTX implosion. So he's saying that this was not sanctioned. And so this then spawned a urging by the securities regulator to law enforcement to launch a criminal investigation immediately, is what she was looking for.
So what's interesting here, too, is the overlap that at least the Bahamian authorities had talked about early on in their first statements about where their own overlap with the U.S. securities laws as well, where that would actually push them to continue their own investigation. So is there any kind of, in that overlap, joining forces of the two entities, or is this just going to be kind of separate finding of information, finding of details as we mmove forward from here?
So there are tremendous problems, tremendous contention that we're seeing now playing out between the Bahamas authorities and the entities that were there and headquartered there versus the U.S. authorities and the entities that are included in the U.S. bankruptcy. The Bahamas authorities, they want to see this liquidation. They have liquidators appointed as of Tuesday. They have filed a Chapter 15 in the U.S., which is meant to get coordination with the U.S. courts when you have an international entity that's also involved with U.S. entities needing to figure out, how to apportion the money when this all shakes out. So the Bahamas authorities, they say that they reject the validity of these U.S. proceedings. You have John Ray, the CEO of FTX, testifying before Congress this week, saying that he does not trust Bahamas authorities. In this court hearing yesterday, the lawyers for FTX's U.S. bankruptcy, they again told the judge, we do not trust Bahamas authorities. So there is a lot of discord between these two, between the international entities and also the management of FTX U.S. now. So just that is, I think, really the highlight and what you take away from yesterday's proceedings and the documents that we're seeing here. Bahamas authorities saying, well, these documents show that we were working on behalf of the favor of all of the entities involved, but the U.S. is saying, no, we don't think so. So we'll have to wait to see what evidence more they have to substantiate that. But at this point, the lawyers maybe now subject to an evidentiary hearing in Delaware to try to shake all of this out. One more thing I want to point out is that in this letter, Salome supposedly told the Bahamas regulators that there were only 3 people capable of making this kind of unsanctioned transfer from FTX Digital Markets to Alameda. And those people would be Sam Bankman-Fried, Nishad Singh, who was the director of engineering for FTX Digital Markets, and also Gary Wang, co-founder of FTX.
Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan keeping a pulse on this developing story. Thanks so much.
Sure.
Appreciate it.